Batman has always got your back.
Into the fourth mother box. Oh, it's the end of the week. I am feeling really good about that. It's been one hell of a week. We've got a ton to talk about, but you are following us at Fourth Mother Box on Instagram, Fourth Mother Box on YouTube, youtube.com/Fourth Mother Box. I am Tom Oakley. Thank you for coming into death and destruction of apocalypse here in very stormy Central Florida right now. But a little bit, we're going to get into a bunch of stuff today. But before that, let me introduce my co-host, not from Central Florida. He's in Chicago, Illinois, Kyle Cosentino. Kyle, how the hell are you today? And happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday. I'm doing good. Doing real good.
Good. I mean, obviously you're a terrible housewife and you plan dinner poorly, so we're gonna have to do some editing on the back end of this, breaking the fourth mother box. So, but that's okay.
I'm making a nice dinner for your mother.
Oh yeah, there we go. All right, starting it hot and heavy. You're making chicken. I'm sipping on the Blackened 72 Seasons batch. So, oh shit, I did not plan that.
Wait, is there a special batch for 72 Seasons?
Sure is. Showing the video right now. Brad Hughes, my cohort on Jedi Talk and local menace to you, Kyle, found this bottle. I had known it was coming out, but he texted me when he was in North Carolina and said, "Did you know about this?" I said, "Yes, I did. Can you grab it, please, for me?" And it appears to be sold out everywhere else right now, so it's good shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's something.
That's right. Forged by my second favorite album, and that pisses a lot of people off, Kyle. Did you know that? That I say my
really?
72, yeah, well, just one person. I'm just fucking with Brad.
Oh yeah, well, he's nothing to really he's nobody important. So
he's a nobody. So how's your week been? How do you feel? How do you feel about the Flash now after we've had a full week to truly digest it?
I still feel good about it, and I feel like from the comments that I see, a lot of people feel good about it. I really liked it. I just, again, we're existing in the Twilight Zone, because I don't understand why this movie isn't doing good commercially. It just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, maybe Ezra Miller and his antics screwed the pooch in this film, and that's why it's not doing as well.
That's one of the reasons. So let's just stop right there. We cannot talk about the gorilla in the room, or the big elephant in the room, whatever. But Ezra Miller is to blame here. There is this attack or this movement, right? Call it cancel culture, call it whatever you want. But this is almost like the side that's been doing it a lot now, happening to them. But it's just so. For fans like us, like fans of the franchise and fans of the character and the Snyderverse, it's it sucks that this kind of shit happens, right? And you want everything well to happen for the individual, for the person, for the person behind there, but just I don't know, man. It's so tough to do it for Ezra Miller. Just all the stuff that comes out about what happened, and Brad was even sharing me some YouTube documentary. I didn't get a chance to look at it yet, but apparently it's a lot worse than we think with Ezra Miller. So if that's the case, I don't want Ezra Miller anywhere near the Flash from here on out. I felt like I gave my one and all, and I feel like people might be feeling the same way. I think that's part of it. I mean, right? It's got to be why this movie isn't doing well, even with Michael Keaton.
I was reading today that the director Andy Muschietti and his wife, who worked on the film, Barbara, laughed when people were calling for Ezra Miller to be recast, and they said that there would be no way that they could recast them at that point in time. Now, this movie was in gestation from forever,
2014,
so
technically.
Jesus.
Man,
And
we talked forever ago. Zack Snyder's initial plan for the Flash movie was going to be to kind of course correct some shit that was intended in the Justice League storyline, but that got fucked up. So sorry, go ahead.
I'm just tired of DC movies being the butt of every joke online. Like it's just disgusting to me, especially when now I haven't looked at any reviews of Secret Invasion. I haven't, but I'm just going to go ahead and assume that Marvel fans love it. It's the best thing ever,
You
right?
know, it actually opened poorer on Rotten Tomatoes than any MCU show ever.
No way.
I'm pulling it up right now. I promise you it did. It had like a so right now it's a 66% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, there was
Audience
only one.
audience score is only a 76.
Still, it's like fresh. Marvel fans, they just it's like the Adam Sandler effect. No matter what Adam Sandler does, people just like it.
White people just like it. We can't help ourselves when it comes to Adam Sandler. We're just like money.
I don't get it. I really don't. And I don't want to bring up Avatar, but this is just bananas. Absolute bananas. I have yet to meet somebody who's seen Avatar: Way of the Water.
Evan, you know Evan.
I feel like Evan would be that person that would go see Avatar: Way of the Water. He just would.
He did. Yeah. He did. He's outside of the Halcyon screaming, "No Halcyon, no AP." No Halcyon, no AP. That's a callback from Jedi Talk. So, well, there's a reason.
You guys have haven't done any episodes in a while. It seems like I think you just released one today, right?
We did. We just uploaded one last night. We only did one. We've only been doing one a week because Brad's been out of town. So Evan and I did one last week over the phone, and then we all did one in person. We did two last night in person, so we'll have two coming up. These two episodes might. I'm not gonna say get us in trouble, but man, we toted the line with some of the shit we did. So have fun with that. Where was I going to? Okay, so Ezra Miller, problem number one, right, with the Flash. I think people are not going to this because they're like, I don't like who this individual is and what they've done. Two, I think you nailed it on the head when you were alluding to, what's the point of this movie, right? Other than just completely resetting the DC extended universe, it being the end of one era, an era that the people who were in charge of these movies have already pissed the base franchise off, right? Kyle, you and I as Snyder fans are kind of the minority here, where we're sticking to our guns and going to see this fruition of a story and then being even optimistic a little bit about the future with James Gunn and Peter Safran. And I'm going to get to James Gunn in a second, but I think people are just saying, I don't care about how this ends because none of it matters. And I fought that a little bit going into the theater thinking what it matters, but I just was excited to see, the last iteration of my favorite, people playing these characters. So it's got to be people just be like, yeah, DC's just, this is kind of a waste of a movie, right? Waste of a movie.
I don't know though. I feel like then again, it's hard for me to separate, how I feel and how other people might feel because
Right.
I'm, a more of a DC guy and I understand the importance of the Flash and how, his role in this world. I'm somebody that can kind of look past. Well, I wouldn't say look past it, but it's a movie. There's a lot of people that worked on this film other than Ezra Miller. It's not like everybody who goes to see it, it's like supporting Ezra Miller and what he did. I'm looking at you, Jason Momoa.
I know, bad look.
But what are we supposed to do? So one person fucks up and everybody kind of agrees that he fucked up, and so we just it just ruins it for all the other millions of people that worked on this film.
No,
So it's like
that's a great point.
it's
It's a great point.
it's it's especially when it like you know this came out during the kind of like the latter stages of filming. I feel like of this film.
Yep.
So I mean, multi-million dollar film that it took to create, and one person acts like a complete dickbag, and then it screws everything up.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, look what's happening to I don't know the actor's name, but who played Namor in Black Panther 2. He's got sexual assault charges against him. Jonathan
Jesus
Majors
Christ.
has him too. And Majors
What's with this?
I don't know. It's like it's just such a weird. It feels weird because it's like if these individuals were predators like this and they sexually harassed women or individuals, then yes, they should be charged for their crimes and pay the consequences for that. But then on the flip side, man, when you have all these back to back to back to back to back, and then people are crying money grab, money grab, money grab in such a weird economic climate, it just feels weird. And like that's not me saying I'm discrediting people's comments or people's thoughts or how people come out with that news, because I've never been in that situation and I don't know what I would do. But it's just, you can only react to what you see, and it's just weird. It's kind of fucked up to see.
Yeah, I could see the whole money grab thing. I mean, people come into money. I mean, how easy it is for people to just accuse somebody with money for like whatever dumb shit they can think of. And the U.S. justice, legal system will listen to it. It's like going back to, the person who sued McDonald's for not quote unquote knowing coffee is hot.
Oh god,
right?
That was like
Which is the dumbest shit
Event
ever.
Horizon.
It really is. And I can't believe like these people who are put in the power of the justice system in our country like can't just see through dumb ass shit like that. That's just dumb.
Well, I mean,
And let me say for the ones that do sexually assault people in Hollywood, Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey is not a role model. So stop that shit.
yeah.
It's like it's mesmerizing that shit happens, and like you're in a position of power and you do shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every camera, every eye is looking at you and waiting for you to fuck up. Like,
Mm-hmm. And it's like, and these people just get drunk with power. The money gives them, and they're the people screaming at the top of their lungs too, who are like, "Don't do this," or "Let's fight against this," or send money this way. And then they're the ones doing it. Yeah. Normally, when they're the ones defying it, or it's like you should peel back the curtain a little bit. But anyway, so it's the Ezra Miller burnout. What does the Flash mean for the future of DC? Because no more Ben Affleck, no more Henry Cavill. We got the back of Superman in the Flash, right? We get the back of Superman. And speaking of the Flash a little bit, and I want to talk about this. People are getting upset about the George Reeves cameo in the Flash. Spoiler alert, by the way, because George Reeves, spoiler alert here, took his own life allegedly due to the fact that he was kind of typecast in the Superman role, right? From what I've seen, and some people feel like that was distasteful to have George Reeves in there. That's an interesting take. George Reeves, I believe, was the first character on screen to play Superman, I believe. In a movie culmination such as The Flash, for me, almost to not include that character would be more of a travesty than leaving them out for just trying to be sensitive to the situation, right?
That's kind of the same vein of like Heath Ledger, where this is where The Dark Knight Rises really failed. Instead of celebrating this great character in cinema and this great actor, it just throw him away like he never happened.
Yeah.
Like it's just not a word about this character from the last film, or it. I think it's just insulting. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying somebody should have got like in the Joker makeup and played him, but the fact that they never mentioned him at all except for that one line in the book, is just bullshit. And this is the same thing here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Roll the dice, and it's gonna end up like people are just gonna be offended about everything. So I didn't personally think that was offensive. I didn't know that he had killed himself.
Yeah, neither did I until I saw people storming up about it. So it's like that's another
But
thing. It's like how people don't know, you know. It's like leave it
but
alone.
but that's the man's legacy. Like he
Yes.
was Superman,
Yeah.
and so it's just like Christopher Reeve, just like Henry Cavill. That's like how people remembered him.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it was nothing but a good thing that he was in the film. So I don't know. I mean, maybe if it was coming from like the Reeves family, like saying like, don't do this, but they probably had to sign off on that. So nobody else should be offended. Like if the family's not
They
offended,
might not had to have signed off on it. They might have just like Warner Brothers or whoever might own the likeness, or maybe they signed off on it. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like they would have to, right? I mean,
Depends on what kind of contract you sign. I don't know.
ah, God.
I really don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. I would
Well,
hope. I would hope. I would hope.
We can't trust Warner Brothers to do the right thing. That's the thing we do know.
Great segue because you and I were texting about this earlier this week, and we learned some things. And the things we learned this week is just it's so typical of you, Warner Brothers, to pull this shit. And it makes, while I still overall enjoy The Flash, and I still actually want to go see it in theaters again so I can digest it more and watch it. And Kyle and I are going to actually rank our DCEU films here in a second. But we are, I want to make sure I solidify this in the place I put it in. But so we learned, and again, spoiler alert for the movie. Obviously, we've been talking about it, but we've learned that the ending that we got, where it was the George Clooney Bruce Wayne who walked out of the car, and I'm not kidding, this really happened, people. They went with the weakest, I think, of the three endings, barely beating out the first one. So the two other endings that were filmed and planned, the first one, I remember hearing rumors about this years ago, that Supergirl and Batgirl were going to meet Barry outside the courthouse when his father was exonerated of the crime of killing his mother. And then they were going to replace Superman and Batman in the Justice League, and they were going to do it with Wonder Woman, Flash, and Aquaman. Glad they didn't do that one. The second one, the one that I believe Kyle, and I'm not talking for you, but I believe both you and I really are pissed that this one didn't happen. They filmed a scene with Henry Cavill. He was there at the courthouse at the end of the movie when Barry walked out when he was with Iris West. I think Wonder Woman was with them. Keep me honest, Ben Affleck's Batman was there as well. And they were going to start and do different stories for them and kind of branch the universe off again from there. So, obviously, that's quite possibly the best route you could have taken with all of this. But enter James Gunn, who, by the way, Kyle, James Gunn is barely mentioning The Flash. And it just kind of pisses me off. Like, does this sit like wrong, not so well with you as it does with me, or am I just kind of overreacting?
No, it pisses me right the fuck off. Like seriously, like there is a loyal fan base who really love the Snyderverse. Like it's out there, right? We are a part of that, and the best thing you could have done was give them a good send off, but you didn't. Like this was fucking bullshit. I'm almost kind of like worried about Andy Muschietti being attached to Batman Brave and the Bold as being the director of that because I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
I'm not because this isn't him. It's Warner Brothers meddling at the end of this movie, right? He was part of filming these other things.
But he was like advocating for Ezra Miller to be in the film.
Okay, that's fair.
So
that's fair.
I don't know. Like he just I don't know. I'm not. That just doesn't sit well with me. I don't know. I think like the one thing that I do feel like this is a good decision to make, is like resetting the universe, just because while we love and appreciate it, I feel like it has just such a bad taste in people's mouth, and the public's perception is it's just like, the low hanging fruit for things
Hmm.
people can just, rag on. And I feel like just resetting it and trying to like start it on in a good way will maybe like kind of help shift public perception about the DC universe.
I hope.
Um,
Yeah.
I think, I mean, that's my thoughts anyway. I think superhero films are kind of at a lull at the moment
Yep.
because, this year we're kind of getting like, I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy was excellent. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But
Hmm.
like I was telling you the other day, the only movie that really hit $1 billion this year was the Mario Super Mario movie.
Yes.
Guardians 3 didn't hit it. Um, you
That's
know,
crazy. Guardians 3 didn't
and
hit a billion.
yeah, that kind of really was surprising, especially when Avatar: Way of the Water, like, was like did so well last year.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was last year, huh?
but even still, like, Quantumania didn't do really well.
I mean, it didn't
The
deserve to
Flash,
make that much money.
yeah, yeah, but it's like the Marvel thing where it's like no matter what, people just go see it because they have nothing better to do. And
That's true. I didn't necessarily feel that Aquaman was a $1 billion movie. I was kind of shocked that it made $1 billion.
yeah, that really didn't make any sense to me either. You know, Batman vs Superman, that like really did well, even though people like, hated it. I don't know,
I
man.
know that
It
made
just
that made good money. That made Warner Brothers a good amount of money. I don't know why people bitch about that movie, but yeah.
But even the Batman didn't make $1 billion. And maybe that's not like
But that was like
every
first in a trilogy movie. Like Batman Begins didn't make $1 billion, right? Like now
well,
with like the sequel to the
I could
Batman
I
lumps.
could see why the Batman didn't make $1 billion. Well, then again, because I was going to say it's more of like kind of a darker noir detective story tone, that came to it. And maybe that just doesn't appeal to everybody because if you look at the Dark Knight trilogy, that's more action packed and like in your face and fast moving, whereas this was more kind of stripped down and like more like slow burn kind of a film. But then I was thinking about like the Joker, the Joker, Joaquin Phoenix. That made $1 billion. People really loved that.
Well, that movie's worthy of that. Wouldn't you agree?
I I mean, absolutely, but
Yeah.
I feel like so is the Batman.
Oh, agreed. But I didn't get nervous about that not making $1 billion because it would have been like over 700, like the first in like a planned trilogy. So Pattinson's first.
Yeah,
I think it did well.
yeah.
Let's all right, let's rank our DC extended universe movies now. All 13 of them, 13 to 1. Good to do that real quick. We don't have to spend forever on each number, but we could just go 13 to 1 each. So like you do your 13, I'll do my 13, then you do 12, I do 12. Sound good?
Oh shit! I forgot 13. I forgot like Shazam. I forgot the two Shazam. I put down 10. I'm like, who else? Two Shazam. Who else am I forgetting?
Did you forget Birds of Prey?
No, I got that. Two Suicide Squad, Zack Snyder Justice League,
Wonder Woman,
BVS,
Wonder Woman
both
84,
Wonder Woman,
um,
Flash, Man of Steel.
Black Adam.
Oh, Black Adam. That's who I forgot. Shit. Um. Okay. Well, Birds of Prey is at the bottom.
All right.
That's what I know.
So we'll start with Kyle's number 13, and that's Birds of Prey. Kyle does not like Birds of Prey. He has said it multiple times, and I'm going to talk and stall for Kyle and let him finish his countdown. So my number 13. Yes.
I already got mine.
Okay. Anything else you want to say more about Birds of Prey?
It sucks.
Okay. Thank you. Real quick, why did you hate that again for the people who haven't listened to that in a while?
It just like I don't know. It was just stupid. Like it just was. Like I love Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, and I
I know she's your pause and
I,
toss.
I mean, she's a great character. The character Harley Quinn is awesome. I love Harley Quinn, but this was not a good movie.
No, Birds of Prey
Just
was not
wasn't.
her best Harley Quinn
No, they could have done.
performance.
They could have done
It
so
wasn't
much
her
better,
fault.
but I just feel like they don't like handle these films well. And this was like a really good example. They just like threw some shit at the wall, and that was Birds of Prey.
Well, all right, my number 13, and it pains me to say this because I was really high on this movie when it came out, and I defended the shit out of it. But as the years went on, as we heard that David Ayer's cut of this movie was just getting mutilated to all hell, every time I watch it, it just makes me upset, and I hate Jared Leto now. I do not like that piece of shit. But the first Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad 2016 is my number 13. And I love, again, like Kyle said, I love the characters. Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn. I love Rick Flag, Joel Kinnaman, right? No, is that Captain Boomerang? God, what's his fucking name who plays Rick Flag? Son of a bitch.
Joel Kinnaman.
It is Joel
That's
Kinnaman.
him.
Okay.
Right.
Joel Kinnaman, I love his Rick Flag. I think Will Smith did an okay as Deadshot. Okay. Fucking Viola Davis is Amanda Waller, like legit. And even the shit that they did do with Leto that was good in that movie was cut out. Warner Brothers got scared and they came in and they tried to make it more like fucking Guardians, and they butchered it, and that was just continuation from BVS. So that's why it's number 13. Kyle, what's your number 12?
Shazam 2.
Ah, okay, wow. Wow, I'm surprised you put that one that low.
I don't. You know what? Because it's bullshit. Like, Zachary Levi is great as Shazam, but like, This is just like they didn't give a shit. Like, it's clear. Like, they did not give a shit because they're like, who would be a good villain to put in? Let's just put Helen Mirren as some like random wizard villain that nobody gives a shit about. Like, really? Of all the great villains in DC, we're gonna just like create like Helen Mirren, who's like 100 years old, and put her in as the villain. Oh, real menacing, you know? It just was like the only great thing.
Oh no,
about the
she
movie
showed
was
up at 2:30 for dinner.
Right. Like, the only great thing about that movie, I mean, Zachary Levi was funny, right? But the only really great thing was Gal Gadot's cameo at the end. Like, that's really the only redeemable. I don't feel like I want to watch it again. So there's that.
I'm with you there. Yeah. I'll give my piece on Shazam 2 when I get to it. My number 12 is Wonder Woman 84. I feel sorry for that movie because it got released at a weird time, Christmas in 2020, but straight to HBO Max at the time, and didn't have to pay for it. So that was, I mean, you had to pay your subscription. So I thought that was cool how they moved that. You know, they did the opposite of what Disney did, where Disney made you pay for premiere access, but such a different movie from the first Wonder Woman, which is very high on my list. So that's why Wonder Woman 84 is low. So, Kyle, what is your number 11?
Wonder Woman 84.
All right, there you go.
And, certainly for the same reasons that you said, I think Pedro Pascal did a good job. I think, Kristen Wiig did a good job. But, it's just the story was just not there. The action was not there. It was just kind of long and dragged out. Like, it was total disappointment.
It was. I mean, and I should preface this by, like, I would take a lot of these movies over, like, Thor Love and Thunder or Thor Ragnarok. Like, I'd watch those, like, before
Absolutely.
a good amount of Marvel shit. So this is like picking less favorite children and pets. My number, 13, 12, 11. My number 11 is Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods. I truly did enjoy myself during the movie, but I had no expectations because I didn't know where the hell Shazam fit in the future. The only thing that gets me interested is the after credits scene that we got in Shazam 2 that had Harcourt and John Economos go up to Shazam as he's like shooting cans. It looked like they were trying to recruit him to be part of the Justice Society of America. So that's interesting. Again, I like Zachary Levi, but maybe we can get him something better. So, what's your number 10, Kyle?
Black Adam.
Black Adam. Okay.
Black Adam wasn't a bad film. It just, wasn't like as good as we wanted it to be. I mean, I think The Rock did a good job. It just kind of really fucked up. There's so much controversy with all these movies, I swear. But, it just, I don't think this was like the best product they could have come out with. I think if they started where it was like, we had Shazam 1, Black Adam, was like the villain of this film, and you had Zachary Levi, who was like Black Adam versus Shazam. Hell, throw Superman in there. You got a good film. I mean, they made an animated film where they all fought each other, and that was really fucking cool. I mean, it was like a short animated film, but like, come on.
I know. I know.
This is like a softball lob. Like some of these ideas, like I'm not a genius when it comes to this. Like it's really just it's easy, and they just again throwing fucking shit at the wall. I don't blame Rock for being pissed. I don't blame him for never wanting to come back. I wouldn't want to come back and work for those assholes either.
Don't, man. The Rock's being treated well at Disney. You might as well stick with them and work with Sony for the foreseeable future. Maybe you can get in on the Spider-Man franchise.
Or, maybe he could be, this WB's fucking shit. WB needs to, relinquish DC to a respectable company.
What if The Rock got cast as the new Hagrid?
Or, even better, McGonagall.
Welcome to Professor McGonagall's class. You know you're rolling. Shut your mouth if you know what was good for you. Now listen to what The Rock says about this and that. I'm teaching potions class.
He gives Malfoy a rock bottom.
What is your name? Malfu? It doesn't matter what your name is.
Starts hitting students with chairs.
He's doing like the people's elbow. He just like the magical people's elbow, just dropping it on everybody if they get something wrong. Oh my god. The Rock needs to be the new Professor McGonagall. Holy shit. Okay, what number were we on? Let's see, 13, 12, 11, 10. My number 10 is Birds of Prey. I know I've kind of made it a little bit of a bit to defend this movie and fight this movie. But it's in my lower quadrant. I still like it. It's not the best Harley Quinn content we have out there, but I really like Ewan McGregor's Black Mask. I did. And I think that's what keeps this one not at the bottom of the list, but it could have been a lot better. The Joker should have been in this movie. Not Jared Leto, but the Joker should have been in it. Not just his presence. So that's it. What's your number 9, Kyle?
Suicide Squad, the 2016 version.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this movie gets a lot of flack, but I didn't think it was terrible. I thought it was pretty decent. I liked Jared Leto's Joker. It took me a minute, but I didn't mind it. I think this is not the best iteration. I think certainly if he had brought to screen what we saw in Zack Snyder's Justice League, that would have made it more interesting. But I think that just had a different tone altogether. I mean, I just thought it was there were some issues with the film. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I went on record saying I didn't really like what they did with Killer Croc. I think Killer Croc is I want a big scary monster, Killer Croc, not just some dude with some scales that swims underwater.
Arkham.
I mean, come on.
The Arkham video games is the perfect Killer Croc.
WB needs to look at the Arkham games and just adapt that shit because they got everything pretty much right. So
you got that right. All right. So we're on my number 9. My number 9 is the first Shazam. It's a good film. It is a good film. Don't pass Shazam up. It's funny. It's a good story. It's very like it's got a good family story because it's a lot of unwanted kids finding each other, and they've got great adoptive foster parents, but they're finally chosen and they're given these superpowers. It's a good story. I've always enjoyed the Shazam storyline. I just like the other movies better than this. So, Kyle, what's your number 8?
My number 8 is Shazam, the first one.
There you go.
And exactly for the reasons you said, it was funny. It was a good-hearted film. The villain was cool. Like they had some like evil giant gargoyle-looking creatures that.
Oh, the Seven Deadly Sins. Cool.
Yeah, the Seven Deadly Sins. They look fucking cool as shit. I thought it was a good film. Like definitely, like I would give that a rewatch for sure.
Oh yeah. We did before seeing Fury of the Gods. It was good stuff. My number 8 is Black Adam. All the reasons you said. Black Adam's a fun movie. I think The Rock did fine. He played The Rock. He played the same thing he did, just except it's a superhero. And the Henry Cavill cameo, when you saw it in the moment and everything after until we found out that he got kicked to the curb, was pure joy. I loved that world. I loved thinking that we were getting a Man of Steel 2 with Henry Cavill. And it was so much could have been. I agree with Kyle. The movie itself could have been done differently, but I enjoyed Hawkman, and Adam and Cyclone were good ancillary characters, but the other stuff was cool. The other stuff was okay in that movie, so that's my number 8. Kyle, what's your number 7?
Aquaman.
Okay.
Aquaman. I mean, it was a little bit of a long movie, but I think like it was visually like really cool. I think Jason Momoa does a good job as Aquaman. He kind of a different one. He kind of like made Aquaman an actually character that you liked as opposed to somebody everybody fucking hated. So I think it was cool. Like definitely like a good story, good visuals. I think it definitely earns its place on my list there.
Mm-hmm. I'll never forget when Zack Snyder released the first, and I'll talk about Aquaman more when I get to it. He released the first image. I remember waking up to it and seeing what our Aquaman would look like in Batman vs. Superman, and then ultimately the Justice League. And that's just the tagline was "Unite the Seven." Man, that was cool. My number
that was really cool.
Yeah.
Like that was like he really started it off well. Like it's a shame.
Yeah, it is a shame. My number 7 is The Suicide Squad. I really like this movie. I just got done watching it again because I was unsure of where I wanted to place this. I knew it was higher on my list, and I knew it wasn't low. So this one's like about right in the middle here, but I leans more towards I really like it. Watching this movie again gives me hope for James Gunn because he had control over this one. I think The Suicide Squad is arguably Margot Robbie's best adaptation as Harley Quinn in the times that she's done so. It was a good movie. I really like Rick Flag in this movie. It sucks that he died, but I like the chances that they took. It sucked to see Captain Boomerang go so early in that movie too, but again, thinking in the hindsight, like I love that James Gunn took the chance with those characters, and it's a big risk that pays off. In DC, unless you're Superman, and that makes sense because it's fucking Superman, you really don't come back in DC. You don't. Marvel, you do though. So, Kyle, what's your number? Where are we at? Number 6, right? Yeah. What's your 6?
Mine is The Suicide Squad as well.
That. We've been doing that, kind of back and forth.
And for all the reasons that you said, and yeah. I would say, it was a fun film, and it was funny. It was legitimately funny. They took some risks. It was kind of a little bit more lighthearted, obviously more adult because it was rated R, but it wasn't like a serious tone where like Batman vs. Superman or The Batman, for example. It was just kind of like a fun movie to watch, you know. And it gave us John Cena's Peacemaker, which, he was a great character. He was funny as shit.
I love that series. Love that show.
The TV show was great. Every character on there is great. I can't wait for season 2.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, very good.
Hell yeah. So number 6 is Aquaman. So our 6 and 7 back and forth. The only reason I put Aquaman over Suicide Squad, these two are really close. I think Aquaman, the first act and the second act, it's a little slow, but then it picks up, and then the third part of Aquaman, from the trench and beyond to the very end, I think is almost chef's kiss. Really good. It's a one hell of a way to tell the end of the end of Arthur's story there, becoming Aquaman, becoming the king of Atlantis. The fight with Orm, and then I love it's a shame we're not going to get that trench movie, because I loved everything about the trench in the the Aquaman movie. It was creepy. He had a horror sense to it. It the unknown mysteries of the ocean. It was really well done, and James Wan should be proud of that.
Yeah, he's a good horror director. The guy,
Very much so.
guy knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it is kind of a shame. I wonder, it's kind of, speaking of Aquaman, I mean, we're halfway through the year, and we're supposed to get Aquaman 2 in December, right? That didn't change?
Nope, that didn't change. I have absolutely no fucking idea where this movie sits, and it's like, I don't care.
I was just thinking, like, where's the trailer? Give us a trailer, damn it!
I thought we'd get one with the Flash.
I don't know.
What's your number 5?
I feel like you and I will have probably the same
5 through 1.
top 5 through 1.
All right, look, what's your 5 first, and I'll tell you if we have the same.
Wonder Woman.
Okay, our 4 and 5 are flipped. I like Wonder Woman a little bit better than the Flash, but our 3 through 1 I know are the same.
Okay, I have to go get my chicken.
Okay, you do that thing. So I'm gonna tell everybody, use this opportunity as Kyle's going to spank his chicken over there, to tell everybody what. So Kyle's 5 is Wonder Woman. My 5 is the Flash. So my 4 is Wonder Woman. Kyle's 4 is the Flash. 3, 2, 1 for the both of us are this order. Number 3, Man of Steel. Number 2, Batman vs. Superman, the Ultimate Edition. You guys have to watch Batman vs. Superman, the Ultimate Edition, on Max, okay? Or if you bought the Blu-ray, go out there and get the Ultimate Edition. It's closer to 3-hour cut, but man, they butchered the hell out of Batman vs. Superman, that theatrical cut. It's still a good story, but there's so much more to it. That's number 2. Number 1, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, Zack Snyder's Justice League is my personal all-time favorite comic book movie. It sits high up there, and I'm proud to say that. And I think it should be in the same conversation as Captain America Winter Soldier, Avengers Infinity War, The Dark Knight, The Batman, those types of masterpieces of comic book movies. I agree. They should be mentioned with Zack Snyder's Justice League. So again, real quick, Kyle's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 was 5 was Wonder Woman, 4 was The Flash, and then our 3, 2, 1 together was Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. Justice League is far from it. So man, Kyle, I don't know what more is to say than we've already said about my favorite trilogy in comic books, and yours is probably not this, but Zack Snyder's Justice League, Batman vs. Superman, and Man of Steel is my favorite comic book trilogy right now. Those 3 movies right there. Complete it for me.
I think it's just too hard to do it nowadays because we have so much content now. You could make an argument about a lot of different trilogies.
Yeah, Nolan's.
I think this is... Yeah. I mean, that would come to mind for sure. I think, I rag on Marvel, but there's no doubt that Infinity War Endgame is a great end to the first era of Marvel. I think that was just excellent. Definitely could rewatch those movies a million times and just love it every minute.
Absolutely.
If we just put Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Zack Snyder's Justice League together, like those are, like quality films. They're just like, the best that superheroes movies have to offer. Like really well done. I will never get the hatred towards like at least Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman. I think Zack Snyder's Justice League was pretty universally enjoyed by people who watched it.
Universally, there are people who make it their personality to hate on it, but a lot of people who saw it really
Yeah,
did
well,
praise it.
those people are stupid. It's just like whatever's like popular or fun to hate. Like it's like the people without a personality that just have to follow like the other sheep that have to hate on it, you know.
You ain't
Or like
lying.
it's the contrarians,
Those
you
damn
know.
contrarians. So that's where our ranking sits. Look, there was news. Here's the weird thing, and I wanted to say this when we were talking about Harley Quinn specifically earlier, but Warner Brothers is apparently set to release a huge DC Extended Universe box set, right, of all the movies, but only 10, and they're excluding the Suicide Squad movies, or they're excluding the Suicide Squad, they're excluding Suicide Squad, the 2016 one, and then they're excluding Birds of Prey. So
Wow.
does that mean that those 3 movies are going to be part of canon moving forward?
Let's hope not. At
That,
least for birds like at least I mean keep Suicide Squad, sure,
well,
but
that would make sense though. So it's like that's James Gunn's property, right? So the Suicide Squad is part of all of that, and that's where Peacemaker branches out of. So they're going to keep that, right? They're going to build off of that, but they have to keep the one that came before, and they have to keep Birds of Prey to keep that together. I don't know, but whatever. You know, I didn't think they were going to recast Margot. I really thought they'd never do that. So we'll see.
they're stupid. My friend that I met with the other day, he was saying that he read that they were getting rid of Gal Gadot too, like she's not coming back, and like I wouldn't be surprised if that happened, especially like some of these actors, like they keep doing these films and it's just a bunch of like controversial bullshit. Like I don't know, I wouldn't. That would be hard to continue to like maintain, but like people love her as Wonder Woman. Like if they didn't want her back, that would be just another dumb
The
decision
true
by WB.
the true sequel to Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman story resides in what Diana was doing in Zack Snyder's Justice League, since that takes place like right after that, and it's so much better than Wonder Woman 84. So the Blue Beetle director, Kyle, has confirmed that Blue Beetle is part of the future in the DCU, and the director wants a trilogy. So, I'm a little scorched from Warner Brothers right now after hearing about kind of what The Flash could have been and what we got. Again, I really liked the film, but like, man, I hate that I feel this way, but like Blue Beetle, man, it's just like I don't feel like it fits anywhere because it's not Superman Legacy yet, but he's supposed to be part of the universe. Like, I hate this. Can't we just start somewhere and just say this is all part of it? It's like it's so fucked up, and Warner Brothers dug their own damn grave.
Yeah, I mean this is like a not a real. This is like the worst transition. Like really the worst transition out. Like they couldn't have fucked it up any more than they have, right? I mean, even like Batgirl still is just like sitting on a shelf somewhere and nobody's ever allowed to see it. I mean, if you don't give a shit, why don't you just give it to the public,
Put it on HBO Max. I mean, people are going to want to watch it. Maybe it's so bad it becomes a cult classic. People love Brendan Fraser.
I don't know.
They're going to flock to it.
All I know is that, what the execs think, what the critics think, and what the public thinks are often very, very different.
You ain't lying.
So,
Speaking of very different and never going to die, Kevin Smith, excuse me, who's infamously, always around all things comic books, thinks Ben Affleck might come back as Batman and do a Dark Knight Returns in the future. While I'd love that, it's like I just kind of want that chapter to be over with. Like, they've fucked with my favorite Batman for so long. Just like, if he's done, be done. Be done. I don't want you pulling with me anymore. Give the role to Jensen Ackles, and let's go. Let's go with the future, right? Come on, man.
I'm with you on that. I think it would be cool now that, well, we don't know what's up is down, or like, right? We don't know what the timeline is, the story is, or what's included, what's not included, because nobody knows. Aquaman's coming out this year, the end of this year. The Blue Beetle's coming out this year. Like,
August. Fucking
Batman's
August.
Ben Affleck's Batman's supposed to cameo in that. Like, it just there's nothing about this that makes sense.
I have a feeling they
It
cut
really
that.
is.
Unless he dies in there. I don't know. It'd be so lackluster to have him do that.
I mean,
Ugh.
they probably just said, you know what, why would people want to see more Batman, right? So,
Unless Blue Beetle happens during the Flash and they pull like a end of Morbius bullshit where like the sky goes purple and then Blue Beetle ends up in the Flash's world or some nonsense like that. Ugh.
yeah, I want to say, I almost want to say I don't care.
I kind of just I kind of want to bow out till Superman Legacy. I'm not gonna lie. Like Joker 2, I'll be all up in that. Batman 2, Penguin.
Could you imagine like people auditioning to be Superman? Like, I'd be like, that's you really have to be confident in yourself to do that justice, I think.
Yep.
I mean, it's kind of like um, I don't know. I mean, God, think about like how Jared Leto felt like stepping into the role of the Joker after Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
Granted, he was nothing like Heath Ledger, but
No.
it's pretty ballsy.
But when they saw the tattoos on him, right away people started to give shit to that. And at first, it took me a while to get used to that. I didn't like that at first. So anyway, both Kyle and I watched Secret Invasion episode 1, and
I keep forgetting about it. I don't know why. I don't know if you've had the same experience, but
I had zero expectations for this show. I really did. I didn't know what to expect. I found it really interesting that the Secret Invasion director of the series was ordered to avoid reading the comic book storyline on this because they're not using. And I'm not familiar with Secret Invasion from the comics. I'm not. But all I know is based on the comments that I've seen and the little research I've done, they're barely using the source material for this outside of a couple of characters. So they're just like using the namesake, which as like a comic fan,
stupid.
it would make me upset. But I'm not familiar with the story, so it's like I want to give it a chance. I like Nick Fury, and spoiler alert, I liked Agent Hill until she got shot in the abdomen and died at the end of episode 1.
Or if that's actually her.
Oh, right? Anything that happened in the world of the Skrulls.
I don't know. I don't know about you, but like, I kind of felt like they just threw us into it.
It was a little chaotic. Yeah.
And like, I kind of had a hard time following along, like what's really going on. Like, there's this warlord who has some like bombs, and he wants to like start a war between America and Russia. Like,
well, he's a Skrull leader that Nick Fury promised them 30 years ago at the end of the Captain Marvel movie that they'd
that's
find
why I don't really know, 'cause I don't.
that they would find a new planet for the Skrulls. Right? There was a whole storyline inside of all that, and he hasn't done it yet. After he got blipped, Fury's been weird, and now there's like a rogue Skrull group, invaded already on Earth, and like they're kind of all over the place. You don't know what they're doing, what they're up to, and they're trying to take Earth for themselves. So they're staging this anti-terrorist or terrorist group called Americans Against Russia. They're staging to make it look like they're attacking Russia because they're against Russia, but it's really the Skrulls at work to start conflict so they can take Earth over. That's what I caught. And at the end, Agent Hill got shot. It was a little chaotic there at the end. It was kind of chaotic altogether because I wish they went into, or I hope they go more into, and there's 5 episodes left of this, but I hope they go more into where Fury was exactly. Because, and maybe I missed something in some of the Disney Plus shows I didn't watch, but all I remember, I think at the end of Captain Marvel, he was up in space, on that thing, superb space station. And then I don't remember what he was doing up there. But he's down now.
Yeah, Captain Marvel is really a movie I should rewatch, but I just don't want to.
You don't have to.
Nah.
Read the cliff notes. Did I miss any news? I think that's about it this week. People have had enough of us bitching and complaining.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Anything I wanted to ask, I didn't listen to your guys' episode yet, but I saw in the tagline that Star Wars Eclipse has some life. I mean,
does.
We're getting this game?
Yeah, the director, like the game developer, said progress is moving along. So that came out of nowhere. Like, all right, let's go. So it looks like we're moving along.
How long ago did we get that trailer? Was it a year or 2 years?
If that was Celebration, it's been about a year.
Okay. So I feel like, they announce these games in that a game like that seems like it could take really long time.
Yeah.
So I know, I mean, Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls 6 was 2018. That's when we got the trailer for it, is 2018. And we got nothing since then.
Good Lord.
So that's the Indiana Jones game by Bethesda was 2 years ago. And we've got nothing from that.
Okay.
So, but I did read recently that it might be an Xbox exclusive.
Oh.
So, which is just stupid. But I have a PC and a Steam Deck, so I won't be affected by that.
Okay.
But give us some indie. I want to see the indie trailer more than anything else.
Oh, for the game, yeah. When are you seeing Indy 5, by the way? We should be talking about it on our show next week.
Next Friday.
Okay. So you're seeing it Friday. I'm seeing it the Saturday morning, July 1st. So we'll record sometime after that so we can talk all about Indy 5 next week.
I mean, I wish I was more excited about it. I'm kind of like hoping that it's an underdog. Like the critics just really, screwed the pooch in this one.
Oh, don't worry about the critics. They're critics. Indiana Jones means more to you than it does to them. So this is more about what you like than it does for them.
I don't know though. That's true, but like I'm just wondering if it's going to be a good storyline like I wanted, because the old man storyline kind of works well with like Wolverine and Batman because they're former superheroes, right?
Shut the fuck up.
Indiana Jones is not. I mean, he's 80 years old. So is that going to work? I mean, only time. I guess we'll have to just wait and see.
Got to wait a couple days or about a week exactly. So, but you guys have been great. We have been Fourth Mother Box. Follow us at Fourth Mother Box on Instagram, youtube.com/Fourth Mother Box, where you're seeing our ugly mugs. Kyle went and beat his chicken a little bit earlier today. I'm all doused in the red light district over here. Sporting my Blackhawks jersey today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the support. Share it with a friend if you think that they would be truly entertained by the two of us. And if this is the first time you're joining Fourth Mother Box, be forewarned, we hand over the last words to Kyle. So Kyle, please take it away.
I feel like today I'm going to impart some very special words, and that is Tom Okri sucks.